All right. But we out there through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. That's it. All right. Because once they do pass all these laws and what have yous, that's when the famine of the word comes. And we won't be out there no more. All right. But right now, we only exclusively out there through the spirit and through the power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Because like I say, they are trying to get us off these streets. They don't want us speaking this truth. Okay. So carrying on, like I was saying, this true wisdom is foolish, all right, to the masses. All right, just like y'all so-called wisdom, the world so-called wisdom is foolish to us. All right, this is Ecclesiastes 10:6. Now it says that the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God. Now this is Ecclesiastes. This is Ecclesiastes. Let me get it. 10:6. It says, folly is set in great dignity. Let's check out what folly is. It comes from the Hebrew word sakal. Sakal. All right. Sakal, which is to be foolish, be a fool, act or do foolishly, to play the fool. To be silly, a fool. So to be a fool is set in great dignity. Here in this present evil world, foolishness is set in great dignity. The things that the Most High look at and like, you fools. The people of this world set it up like, oh, he's so wise and great. Oh, wow. And they give them all these titles. Oh, you're a scholar. Oh, you're just a genius. But to the Most High, they fools. That's why it says also in 1 Corinthians that he has set up those who are base, those who are fools to the world, all right, to confound the things that are wise to the world. All right. That's down in that 1 Corinthians, the first chapter. You can read it for yourself. But right here in this present evil world, folly is set in great dignity. Okay? Foolishness is set in great dignity. All right? In great elevation, in great height. Okay? And that's what they do. To fool you. This is Lamentation 5:8. It says, servants have ruled over us. Matter of fact, in that Ecclesiastes 10:6 again, it says, folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in a low place. The rich is talking about first and foremost, the elect of the Israelites. Because how are they rich? This is Romans 11:33. It says, oh, the depth of the riches, both of the wisdom and knowledge of God. Oh, the depth of the riches, both of wisdom and knowledge of God. So if you have wisdom and knowledge of God in truth, then that makes you part of the rich. But right here in Ecclesiastes 10:6, it says folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in a low place. And that's why they have us at the bottom of the bottom of the totem pole in this present evil world. It says, I have seen servants upon horses and princes walking as servants upon the earth. So these servants that's upon horses, these natural born servants that's in rulership, that's when you sit upon a horse, that's what that implies, that you in some type of power, in some type of rulership. But it says, and princes, so the true royalty is walking as servants upon the earth. All right. So that's, and then in Lamentations 5:8, it says, servants have ruled over us. There is none that deliver us out of their hand. All right. Because we still in their hand right now. In our oppressor's hand, who are natural born servants, like it said about Esau in Genesis 25. Okay. So, because it said the first shall serve the younger. This is in Genesis 25. The first shall serve the younger. Esau came out first. So he was supposed to serve the younger being Jacob. All right. But right now, we are servants to them. The royalty are servants to them. But it says servants have ruled over us. And since these servants are ruling over us, the wicked, then they set folly in great dignity. They have the power to do so because they are ruling over us. So anything that they are down with and say is cool, oh yeah, you can teach that. Oh yeah, that's cool to believe in. Oh yeah, that's fine right there. Then it's not the truth. It is not the truth. All right. Your enemies, all right, these that's in power, are oppressors. They will not tell you the truth of who you are. Okay. They're going to set folly in great dignity. Okay. So, keeping it pushing. This is Sirach 19 and 22. Sirach 19 and 22. It says the knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom. All right. Neither at any time the counsel of sinners prudence. All right. The scriptures call them the man of sin. All right. Since they wanted to take this book in their hand, then now you got to follow it. But they don't. They do everything contrary to it. But once again, it says the knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom. This is not the wisdom. This is foolishness. The knowledge of wickedness is foolish with the Most High God. Okay. This is Sirach 1 and 25. It says, the parables of knowledge are in the treasures of wisdom, but godliness is an abomination to a sinner. All right. So since the powers that be, all right, since these servants are ruling over us and setting folly in great dignity, okay, when you come out of that folliness and come to the wisdom and knowledge and understanding of the truth, you are an abomination to this world. You are an abomination to a sinner. Once again, it says the parables of knowledge are in the treasures of wisdom, but godliness is an abomination to a sinner. All right. It's an abomination to a sinner. So those that are of the world, of this present evil world, and love it and doing the things that they say what's up, even though it's not wisdom. All right. They're gonna hate you if you come to the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the truth. Okay. So you have to ask yourself, who are you learning from? I'm gonna hit that 2 Timothy 3 and 14 again. This is 2 Timothy 3 and 14 again. It says, but continue thou in the things which thou hast learned and hast been assured of, knowing of whom thou hast learned them. All right. Knowing, you got to be assured and know. Right. This is Sirach 37 and 37. Sirach, no. No, that's not what I'm looking for. Okay. I must have wrote this scripture down wrong. Because there is no Sirach 37 and 37. Okay, then I'm gonna just keep it pushing and all right, let me go to Philippians 3 and 17. Philippians 3 and 17. It says, brethren, be ye followers together of me, and mark them which walk so as ye have us for an ensample. Okay? I found what I was looking for. Psalm 37 and 37. All praises to Yahweh Shai. So yeah, Psalm 37 and 37. It says, mark the perfect man, and behold the upright, for the end of that man is peace. So if I go get that 37 and 37, it says mark the perfect man, which is the Hebrew word shamar, which means keep, to keep, guard, to observe, to give heed. Give heed to the perfect man, and behold the upright. For the end of that man is peace. And that's what you want. All right? You want peace with Yahweh. Okay? So you'd have to mark the perfect man. Now, going back into that Philippians 3 and 17, it says, brethren, be followers together of me, and mark them which walk so as ye have us for an ensample. Okay? And that mark in this one is scopeo. Scopeo, which like where you get the word scope. You know, you scope somebody out. So it says to look at, observe, contemplate, fix one's, to mark, to fix one's eyes upon, direct one's attention to, take heed to thyself, regard, consider. All right. So it says, brethren, be ye followers together of me. Paul is telling you to be a follower of him, even though he was a man. And mark them, take heed to them which walk so as ye have us for an ensample. Okay? And that ensample is from the Greek word tupos. All right? To mark of a stroke or blow, print. All right? To form an example. All right? In the technical sense, the pattern. All right? In conformity to which a thing must be made. All right? For us to have salvation, we have to pattern and conform our ways to the examples that was left. Okay? Imitate. All right? Of men worthy of imitation. Okay? And this one is 2 Yep. Which is basically the same thing. Right, and this was the one I was looking for because this is Tunchano, or Tuncano, Tuncano. All right, to hit the mark, to reach, to attain, obtain, get, become a master of. All right, and this, once again, this is still from the definition of ensample. All right. And the main one I like was compare. The definition compare. All right. Compare. Because what we have to do is mark the perfect man and compare them to the men that we read about here in the book. All right. That the men that were men of the Lord that we know about, that we read about here in the book, and compare your teachers, whoever they may be, to the men in the book. All right, to see if they fit the characteristics, to see if they fit what would befall them and what they would go through and how they would act, and so forth and so on. But you have to compare that, just like the scriptures talk about comparing spiritual things to spiritual. All right, so what I've done was basically get a few scriptures and compare what the scriptures say to my teachers who I've been assured from. All right. So check it out. I'm going to try to get through this as quick as possible. This is Matthew 10 and 22. Matthew 10 and 22. Matthew 10, chapter 22. It says, this is the Lord speaking. It says, and ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. But he that endureth to the end, the same shall be saved. Okay? And right now, the apostles of GMS on down, they are hated of all men. All right? Why? Because of Yahweh Shai's sake. Because they teach the truth. They teach Yahweh Shai. Okay? They teach the good news. All right? They're not hated off of their actions. All right? Because, according to this world, they're upstanding citizens. All right? And since they've been in the truth, you look and, you don't see too much of a record, a history of violence and jail time and, things of that nature. Okay? But guess what? They are still the most hated of all. We can check that off. It says, and ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. So there's a telltale sign of a man of the Lord, that you're going to be hated of all men for Yahweh Shai's sake. Check. GMS, check. This is Isaiah 30 and 20. Isaiah 30 and 20. It says, and though the Lord give you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction, yet shall not thy teachers be removed into a corner anymore, but thine eyes shall see thy teachers. You see, starting off with the apostle Elder Tahar on down of Great Millstone, you see with your eyes your teachers. The scripture said that your teachers shall not be removed into a corner anymore, but thine eyes shall see thy teachers. This is what the scriptures say of a man of the Lord who's going to be a teacher. So there's another one. Check. For the apostles on down of Great Millstone. Check. This is Acts chapter 20 and 27. Acts chapter 20 and 27. It says, "For I have not shunned to declare unto you all the counsel of the Most High God." And if I'm not mistaken, this was Paul, who was a man of the Lord that we read about. He said that he have not shunned to declare unto you all the counsel of the Most High God. The so-called good, the so-called bad, and the so-called ugly. We teach it all here at Great Millstone. Even if it's not popular in these times, and even if there's something that's not expedient here in these times, we still teach that it was done. We still teach that this was our history. All right. We still teach that, hey, some things is going to go back to certain things. OK, but we give it to you all, the straight skinny, whether you hear or whether you forbear, whether you offended, whether you like it or whether you don't, whether you hear or whether you forbear. All right. We teach it because it's our job. We teach it all. The name, we teach it all. The counsel of the Most High God, which is right here, this book. So there's another check for the apostles of Great Millstone on down. All right. This is 1 John chapter 2. 1 John chapter 2 and 18. It says, "Little children, it is the last time. And as ye have heard that Antichrist shall come, or anti-Messiah shall come, even now are there many anti-Messiahs, whereby we know that it is the last time. They went out from us, but they were not of us. For if they had been of us, they would no doubt have continued with us. But they went out, that they might be made manifest that they were not all of us." So this is going to happen in this truth. You're going to have some that come in and they're going to go out. You're going to have some that come in and they're going to go out. All right. Giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils. Okay. So once again, we heard that in the scriptures that this was going to happen, that there were going to be some that go out from us, whether they got kicked out or whether they left, got offended, or whatever the case may be. The scripture said that that was going to happen to men of the Lord. So once again, check, that happened. Okay. This is Ephesians 5 and 11. Ephesians 5 and 11. It says, "And have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them." Once again, "and have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness." All right. It says, "Be not unequally yoked together with unbelievers." It says, "Can two walk together except they be agreed?" So, and that the men of the Lord that we read about had all things common. Okay. Matter of fact, if I can find that real quick, believe it's Acts. Right. It says Acts chapter 2, verse 42. "And they continue steadfastly in the apostles' doctrine and fellowship, and in breaking of bread and in prayers. And fear came upon every soul, and many wonders and signs were done by the apostles. And all that believed were together and had all things common." Okay, so there was no unity camps. If you didn't adhere to the truth, the only one truth, then, hey, after the first and second admonition, we reject. Tell you to keep it pushing. until the Most High give you that increase. If he gives you the increase to come to the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, then we can have fellowship. Then we can break some bread. Then we can get together. Okay? But other than that, verse back in Ephesians 5 and 11, it says, and have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them. So we going back to that, the checking and comparing. GMS do not have no unity groups with other camps that teaches different doctrines from the only one true doctrine. Okay? So once again, check. It says, but rather reprove them. And that's what men of the Lord are supposed to do as well. All right? We reprove everybody. First and foremost, ourselves. We get on ourselves. And a lot of times it's publicly that we get on ourselves. Okay? So we can be on one accord and right, you know? We don't hold back our sword from blood. We don't, we rebuke in the gate. All right? We speak up rightly. And that's why we're hated of all men. Like Amos 5 and 10, it says they hate him that rebuketh in the gate, and they abhor him that speaketh uprightly. They hate him, those that don't want to get with other camps just because they say that they are the Hebrew Israelites. So, because they're going to be some Hebrew Israelite. Matter of fact, it says judgment must first start at the house of Israel. So those who call in themselves Hebrew Israelites, that's teaching contrary to the true one doctrine, or that's doing it for filthy lucre's sake, or doing it for a corruptible crown, or doing it for strife and vainglory, or whatever the case may be. Okay? We get on them all. Okay? We get on ourselves. We get on everyone that's outside of the true knowledge and understanding of these scriptures. That's how it says a man of the Lord would be. Check for GMS. The apostles on down once again. This is Acts 6. Acts chapter 6. I'm going to start it off at verse 8. It says, and Stephen, full of faith and power, did great wonders and miracles among the people. Then there arose certain of the synagogue, which is called the synagogue of the Libertines and the Cyrenians and the Alexandrians, and of them of Cilicia and of Asia, disputing with Stephen. And they were not able to resist the wisdom and the spirit by which he spake. And they suborned men and said, we have heard him speak blasphemous words against Moses and against God. It says, and they stirred up the people and the elders and the scribes and came upon him and caught him and brought him to the council and set up false witnesses, which said, this man ceased not to speak blasphemous words against this holy place and against the law. All right. But once again, there were set up false witnesses. OK, that said that he did some things that he didn't even do. Okay. I want to get another word. 11. Okay. Right. So that suborn, because it says they suborn men. That suborn means it's from the Greek word hupabalo, which means to throw or put under, to suggest to the mind, to instruct privately, instigate, to bribe or induce someone unlawfully or secretly to perform some misdeed or commit a crime. Salaki.
I said, front door.
All Right. So it says to throw out, put unders, to suggest to the mind, to instruct privately, instigate, to bribe or induce someone